Good morning, everyone. Today it's been a long week, by the way, and today I'm going to be giving some the goals for all this we're going through. But before I do that, and this is just a quick video, I haven't been doing nothing for the last 4 or 5 days, but talking to targets. I've spent hours on the phone with different targets that I've been meaning to call and get in touch with. I've just been very busy. Um, and I will be taking a break from calls and stuff like that from the 13th to the 24th. Um, we appreciate everyone's support for the last 3 years. We've been helping people, and it's time to, just to take a break. This has been more than just a YouTube channel and an interview, and where you come watch TI interviews and get information. We've been helping behind the scenes, and I'm not gonna go into all that, but the people who know. And we thank you for your support because without y'all's support and kind, encouraging words at times and telling us we're helping and stuff like that, it wouldn't be possible. Edification is very important in the TI community. It's important if we have TI friends that we edify them, lift them up, tell them their worth, show them that their value. It's good that it's important as TIs that we lift each other up because a lot of TIs, well, all TIs have gifts that they're not aware of, and some TIs have been beaten so low their self-esteem is not what it used to be, and they need encouragement. So I encourage you to, if you have a TI friend, reach out and say something positive to them about themselves. Give them a positive affirmation, lift them up, pray for them. Ezekiel 22:30, God said, if I look for one person to stand in the gap on behalf of this nation, and I couldn't find nobody, and I destroyed it. And he's talking about praying, speaking on behalf, going to the Most High on behalf. So anyway, what else was I gonna say? Say I get in. Oh yeah, right. I don't even know how long this computer is gonna last. Right before this, and if you ever experience this, this is what you do. Right before I started this thing right here, the podcast, whatever you want to call it, a minute ago, and went to the information I was going to share, and the screen just started flashing black, 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 black. Well, the first thing you do when that happens is you put your finger on the power button and you hold the power button down immediately until the computer turns off. I mean, talking about this computer got red, red, red hot, and it hadn't been on long. But it got red hot and started flashing a black screen. So I immediately held the power button. So I don't know how much longer it will last, but anyway, I will run it till the wheels fall off. I'm trying to think. I had some other announcements for y'all. Patrick, I did get everybody's message to Patrick and all that, and he reached and I'm thinking he found him a good place for right now, and I'm glad that we were able to help. Um, Also, we have a person who's 56-year-old school teacher, and she's in the Arizona area. If there's any TIs in the Arizona area, preferably female, who could help her, let us know. She does have a vehicle and all that. She had to check out of a hotel yesterday, and it was just short notice by the time she found out about us. That's another thing. Really, really, really suspicious because if I was running a TI website uh, that was giving referring people like for TIs to help and stuff like that, this would be one of the first channels I would put on there. But you won't see my channel mentioned on none of them sites, and I think that's very, very, very odd. But at the same time, I'm glad it's not published and getting all the publicity because that's when all the perps and all that come along. And who knows? I just think it's very so. Anybody on TI events, I'm going to be very, uh, you know, very leery kind of because it's kind of a bummer when you've actually helped targets for 3 years, got receipts to prove it, and you're looking at some people listed on there that don't do nothing for targets. Uh, and I'm not saying everybody on TI events is fraud or nothing like that, not at all. But I'm going to be very leery if I ever go on there. I had to refer, and the only reason I noticed I wasn't on TI events is I had a friend who needed to stay on the phone with somebody, and see, they used to have calls from uh, all night. There used to be calls in 2018. There was calls from like 12 in the morning to like 6 in the morning or 1 in the morning. So I was looking for them kind of calls because the dude needed somebody to stay on the phone and feel comfortable because he felt more comfortable when he was on the phone. He was freaking out. And so I looked on there and I noticed a lot of people listed, but I was like, let me see if I'm listed on there, and I wasn't. But it's okay. Um, I it does hurt me that they don't even consider this channel good enough to be on there. But hey, I know we're good enough, and I know what happens behind the scenes, and I know what we've accomplished in the last 3 years, and it's good. Uh, so at the same time, I'm hurt. I'm very grateful that we're not listed on there because I got to thinking of of the ramifications of being listed where everybody can see you and all that. That just brings more perps out. So anyway, before I get in this information, I get scatterbrained when I get in these things. I'm trying to think of one more thing. Just bear with me because there is something I wanted to show y'all. I'm still trying to figure out how to I can I know what I can do. I'm still trying to figure out how I can get the stuff for the um for the cats. Trying to figure out how, I can get a Chewy, you have to have a nonprofit to set up a wish list. Amazon wish list, or I'm still trying to figure out how to hide the location when you do that. And I think I may have it figured out because we do feed feral cats and could use some help in that area. And I'm going to show you some pictures of the ferals. And that's one. I call him Tom and Jerry. Uh, he's got all white feet. Let's see. That's the ferals right there. Well, I'm not even showing them. Hold on. I'm not screen sharing. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. This is Tom and Jerry. That's what I call him, Tom and Jerry. That's a cat from the outside, and that's some of the cats. That's not all of them, but that's some of them. Um, and the herd always thins out. That's Sam. Okay, let me find the ferals. Okay, Tom and Jerry again. We love Tom and Jerry. That's we call her cream color. We call her the cream color cat. That's the runt. We love the runt. That's my favorite. She's been that size for a long time now. I'm just showing you a few of them. I can't tell which that one that was, and that's baby's daughter. And Honey Girl, our kitty inside the calico, is baby's daughter also. Well, it's a big story behind that, but anyway, baby was in Honey Girl's inside Holly's car up behind the light and actually went an hour back and forth in that car a couple times before we even realized she was in the car. And I pulled her out and I gave her I looked up on Google because she was lethargic. I had to force her out. I almost broke her leg pulling her out. That's how small space she was trapped in that car up underneath. And she was lethargic anyway. So I looked up on Google and it says put a drop of honey on their gums. So I put a drop of honey on the gums, and within like 8 or 9 minutes, she started running around. So we called her Honey Girl. Um, we don't have a name for him or her yet. She comes and goes. Let me see. These are just a few too. So let me see. It's not wanting to go. I know I had more pictures of cats than that, but I haven't got all my kitty pictures all in one spot. So. Um, well, just know there's a lot of cats out there. Let me see. Captain Greasy Cat. Okay. That kitten, unfortunately, is missing. So anyway, I got about 13 or 14 cats outside and we feed them. And it's just way too expensive to get these cats spayed and neutered. And that's the runt and her mama eating. Anyway, I didn't have the pictures I thought I had uploaded. Um, but I'll try to you got Gray Girl, Baby. We got a cat we call Crippled, but he injured his leg and we didn't think he was going to make it and he left for a couple months because the male cats always fight over territory. So we thought, man, there's no way with that leg injury that he's going to survive. Well, about a week ago, he's walking normal and his leg injury's healed. And he came out of nowhere and he started coming and eating again. So that was good news for us. Um, okay, so I just thought I'd share that with you. But we're still trying to figure out how to get it donated, how to find out how to receive donations without giving our address away. But after this vacation, when we come back, we should have a PO box set up. So that's going to be good. So anyway, sorry to bore you with my cat pictures. Okay, I'm going to go over some gender definitions for organized stalking, and then I'm going to go into goals. Multiple goals and effects of global organized stalking, mind control, electronic torture operations. Like I said, I just wanted to come on here and give y'all a little bit of information and do a video. The cognitive warfare video that y'all see, the new cognitive warfare. Here's some news. Okay, James Martinez shared that on his platform. But he said, I was just alerted that this movie just came out. However, I cannot endorse it entirely because I know there's a lot of material that has not been available to the public that I know about. Nonetheless, the issue has now taken form after 47 years. Yes, that's right. 47 years your own master's been screwing with people's heads. There are other filmmakers I know personally are coming out with more. So he said it's coming out shortly, but he would not endorse it. And I'm telling y'all, you got to use your heads. Classified information is classified information. The secret they're not telling you, they tried to tell you years ago, and most of them got weeded out. Even Karen Mountain Stewart. All they need is your EEG signature, your neural signature to target you. Nanotechnology is used now for further training, research, and development, but that's one of the secrets they're keeping from you. It's classified technology. They don't need nothing to beam your head or locate you anywhere. And they're not going to tell you that in no NIH paperwork, all of them studies is old technology, and we really don't know what the hell we're dealing with. All we know is what people tell us, and any real whistleblower that work anybody that worked on top secret programs about this signed NDAs and would be charged with espionage. So the information they're telling you is information that they're allowed to tell you because it's so old that it don't matter no more. You got to understand top secret technology is top secret technology. That means it's secret. That means it's not on the internet. It's nowhere to be found. We know, what they tell us. They're 40 years more advanced. So I'm just letting y'all know. Don't get. Just think about that before you listen to some of these. I started. I decompress from these big podcasts now. Because I feel like if somebody's really a threat to the system, really giving uh, information that's vital that people ain't supposed to know and that they want kept secret, and they're really exposing secrets, their platform's not going to have a million viewers, and they're going to make sure that platform gets taken down immediately, and they're going to make sure that if the platform does last, that they'll be shadow banned and won't have a chance at getting any viewers or getting the word out or being a threat to the system. So you gotta take all that in consideration. Watching some of these podcasts because that's a form of mind control too. So I can admit that all I can do is do stuff that I've found that helps me and Holly over the years. The gang stalking is good information because we know from experience. And most of the people I listen to when I'm listening for information are survivors who went through this. Survivors who've been through this trauma, survived this, and stuff like that. Now, not your information about weapons and stuff, but it's good to listen to survivors. I think if you're trying to get counsel on this or trying to get uh, help from experience and on what to do to fight this, you got to go to survivors who's been through this because people who ain't been through this ain't don't know the urgency of being so disoriented. They're gonna try to find anything. They haven't done the trial and error. All they know is what they've read or tried to tell you. They don't know from experience. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So anyway, let's go. Let's get this going, and then I might have an interview tomorrow, and I might not. So anyway, here we go. General definitions for organized gang stalking, electronic torture, and then I'm gonna. Well, let's start with the goals first. Then we'll go to definition. Multiple goals and effects of global organized stalking, mind control, electronic torture operations include: one, massive make work program. Establish a massive make work program that radically expands the national security enterprise. Allocation of billions of federal dollars to watch lists and target general law-abiding citizens through the fusion center system. Trafficking of TIs is non-consensual human experimentees into military, university, corporate, state, neuroscience, and weapons testing programs. Illegal seizure of terminated target asset. Sorry about that. Um, Illegal seizure of terminated targets' assets. As revealed, the Iran-Contra scandal of the 1980s, the rogue corporate military intelligence mafia networks of criminal shadow government have also profiteered from international sales of. Anyway, that don't even have nothing to do. Well, it kind of does. Formation of secret armies. Formations of vast armies of perps, comprised of military special force operatives, civilian war fighters, citizen spies, recruited criminals, government aid informants, surveillance role players, crisis actors, academic and medical, cognitive, and neuroscience researchers hidden right in front of your eyes. And some of y'all are interacting with him every day. Let me shut up. To maintain control over all sectors of society, squelch all potential dissident civil rights movements, divide and conquer domestic populations, artificially create a civil war in which civilians stalk, harass, torture each other. Number three, isolate and remove asset stripping of distance targets with no-touch torture, non-lethal weapons. Organized stalking and targeting individuals by these secret armies is accompanied by deployment of high-tech, military-grade, non-lethal electromagnetic neurotech weapons to isolate and remove TIs from society, which allows people to seize their assets. Four, create worldwide no-touch torture psychotronic concentration camp. Create a no-touch torture Guantanamo Bay. Torture mind control system that can be deployed anywhere on Earth at any time against anyone viewed with disfavor by those in power. I hate to tell you, it's been in place for a long time. Um, and I believe James Martinez when he said that's one thing I agree with James Martinez on. Uh, Politicians and stuff are clueless about this technology and these projects. So that's why when you're reaching out to politicians, they're looking at you like you're crazy and they can't find nothing out. These are deep state shadow government workers that you don't even know that are not even listed as working for government. Um, so anyway, create mass shooters through invisible no-touch torture. Um, that's another thing. Don't never commit acts of violence as a TI. That should be the first rule for a TI. Unless you're defending yourself from physical harm, don't hurt nobody. They're banking on it. Um, Okay, it's running COINTELPRO gang stalking, wireless MK Ultra on millions of them aborted advanced political agenda to create cycle bombs. Mass shooters should create gun problems so they can ban them, according to Dr. Robert Duncan. Cover up their own criminality, psychological or physical breakdown, incarceration, institutionalized slow kill murder of TIs via no touch torture, eliminate dissidents, whistleblowers, truth tellers, and dissent in general, thus facilitating suppression of truth, imputation of long sought totalitarian one world government. Removal of political enemies through these targeted killings also facilitates the cover up of this and other government crimes, covert ops, massive propaganda lies. And neuroweapons testing, brain and soul mapping, military research, development, refinement, and variety of neuroweapons, as well as mapping, digital copying, and cloning human brains. It's carried out to create enhanced cyborg super soldiers, a race of transhuman human computer cyborg slaves, enhancement of conscious AI supercomputers, fastest military intelligence domination, the entire world population through use of neuroweapons, neurotechnologies, which permit remote mind control, torture, and mind influencing, a host of other objectives. Divide and conquer society for total control, dividing society into three classes: predators, prey, and prey, including target individuals, audience, clueless and cowardly bystanders, the bewildered herd. The divide and conquer strategy facilitates total control of societies by elites and eliminates the threat of genuine protests, meaningful social movements. 9. Create a society of sadist spies. Traditional Christian values such as love, truth, beauty, honor, kindness, and courage and service to others are replaced in progressively dehumanized societies by a sadistic mafia spook style thugocracy ruled by thugs with a Lord of the Flies jungle mentality in which sadistic guerrilla tactics are commonly employed to keep the peace. 10. 10. Militarized, weaponized, criminalized, and satanized societies. Societies thus weaponized, criminalized, satanized to such an extent these types of illegal and unconstitutional activities continue unreported and unpunished. 11. Creation of New World Order electronic military intelligence vigilante police state. Creation of a global totalitarian corporate owned New World Order military intelligence vigilante civilian state linked to AI supercomputers, cell phone towers. Electromagnetic frequency and advanced neurotech weapons can be covertly deployed against any and all individuals and groups and sector of society. Through economic policy, zoning restrictions, and man-caused catastrophes such as California wildfires, etc., citizens are now gradually being forced out of rural and suburban areas into crowded areas. Agenda 21 Smart Cities, where total physical control can be exerted through control of food, water, and energy. Total psychological and behavioral control can be exerted through Gestapo 666. 12. Electronic psychotronic genocide of populations. Large populations can be genocided or turned into biorobots using these technologies. 13. Elites attain immortality. Elites evidently hope to develop and use these brain and computer mapping, copying technologies to transform themselves into a race of immortal, omniscient, transhumanist gods who would rule a universal, one world antichrist kingdom forever. In light of the vast scope, complexity, important import of these global operations, then the commonly used term organized stalking, counterintelligence stalking hardly appear adequate. Hence, we need to find more accurate and appropriate terms. So let's mimic the alphabet soup agencies themselves, who devise acronyms that describe the principal components of operations, such as MIG, Military Intelligence Group, COINTELPRO, etc. And I'm going to read a couple of quotes and then I'm done. I'm not going to go into the definitions because I got stuff to do today and I have a couple people to call. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Let's see. Let's see what Melton Stewart had to say. She called me in Dallas when I was homeless and helped me one time with some encouragement. She said, I used to work for NSA. Post 9/11 laws are being purposely being misinterpreted to say that since we reserve the right to kill terrorists anywhere, anytime, if we lower the criteria to less than probable cause in regard to terrorist watch list, which was done in 2013, and thousands of random people can be put on the terrorist watch, no questions asked. Um, a profit DHS is selling kill contracts on innocent people to buddies in military industrial compact, torture, kill, test on humans, weapons like gases, poison, direct energy weapons, nanoparticles, secret medical chips, even networks of chips, according to the Pentagon, coming torture protocol 1 through 5 at least. But it's bigger than the terrorist watch list because before the terrorist watch list came out, long before 9/11, um, I've talked to I've talked to probably thousands of different targets, and I've talked to a lot that were targeted in the early 90s, even the 80s. Okay, let's see what Craig Tuck, a New Zealand international human rights lawyer for Susie Dawson, said. Activists all over the world being targeted by the intelligence services for their activities, for their work in challenging the status quo. They're being made to pay a high price. These are ordinary citizens, our mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, and friends. Untrained, non-military, that are being targeted by the most advanced military machine this planet has ever seen. And I agree. And if you go up here, this is from Eric Carlson's strike site, Gang Stalking and Mind Control Cults. I'm just going to show you. I want to show you one thing, and then I'm going to go. It's very interesting. This was mentioned because this is when my weapons attacks started. Uh, yeah, we might. I might go down there and read that too, real quick. I just want to show you something that I noticed when I was scrolling through and reading this. I wanted to read this whole thing, and I might come back and read it uh someday. Look, global gang stalking operations deploy essentially the same personnel, technologies, and objectives as Jade Helm and UWEX, the massive multi-state U.S. military drills for dissident extraction carried out in 2015 and 2016. I'm telling you. I'm going to go ahead and read this part. It says, these massive multi-state drills for distant extraction carried out in 2015, 2016. It happened to me in Springfield, Missouri. These asymmetrical, unconventional, network-centric information, civil, military, and cyber warfare operations, technology you haven't read about, technology you won't find information about, they they did so much stuff to me that day with my that there's no way I could describe how it was done on some of the stuff they did. But they got some weapons out there, and anybody who's a Jade Helm survivor who can confirm they were in Jade Helm, please reach out because that's what it was. It was a It was a dissident extraction thing where if they declared martial law or something, they would use this technology to the freedom fighters. This is what they would use on them to extract them, and they done tests on different people to see how easy it would be to subdue them and get them. Well, they had that's for another day. I wish I could go into what they did that day because you would understand the technology. Okay, listen, let's see. These asymmetrical, unconventional networks in cyber warfare are all military branches for psychological operations, and they pulled a lot that day. And I hope a lot of y'all watching have heard what I've said about Jade Helm and what happened that day. Well, that year, it was a whole year of craziness, and just different stuff, psyops, mind control stuff that happened, stuff that you don't even hear talked about today, because they're top secret weapons, and a lot of people, well, some people's experienced it, and I would say a lot of people's experienced. I can't say a lot of people haven't experienced. I'm just saying. Uh, I'm convinced that what we find in our research, what I experienced in 2015, um, confirms heterodyning, EEG heterodyning, and remote neural monitoring. That's all I got to say. Okay, let's see what it says. Victims may be targets of tens and hundreds of illegal covert operations a day. These covert operations generally involve deployment of geographic information grid satellite system, AI supercomputers, big data derived by NSA surveillance, the wireless smartphone cell tower communication, and psychological operations, plainclothes military civilian actors, role players. All these operations involve secret targets of citizens who've been extrajudicially designated as enemies of the state. You watch that movie, and if you're a target and you're really being stalked or really had your life destroyed, a real target individual will be able to relate to enemy of the state. Um, but anyway, Jade Helm was a real thing, and the only people who went through Jade Helm will be able to. I would love anybody who went through Jade Helm. Please, I want to get you on my show. I want to interview you. Um, Definitely. Just reach out and email us at targetedtestimonies@pm.me. And just know, uh, if you're emailing me and you're trying to slip in and you're not real, more than likely I'm going to sniff you out. I've sniffed out a bunch that's reached out to me this year, and you can tell. Um, you can tell by the terminology they use. You can just tell if they're fake. You can tell if they're describing an experience somebody told them about or describing someone else's experience. And anyway, when if you know, you know. All these operations involve secret target systems. Okay. All right. I just wanted to get on. I wanted to read that. Now I'm going to go to one more thing. I'm gonna read a couple of these whistleblowers statements, and then I'm gone. I appreciate y'all's support. We might have an interview tomorrow if everything works out. If not, our last day will be I won't Tuesday will be our last day for a while, for 10 days. You can still reach out and and email us, and we'll email you back on our own time. But as far as doing calls and all that, uh, we're gonna take a break. If it's an emergency and you think we can help y'all in any way, just let us know. Uh, but we've been helping and doing stuff behind the scenes for 3 years. I'm trying to focus on uh, the cats, the family here, uh, and what's going on in this house and my responsibilities. And not that I don't get my responsibilities done or do that. It'd be helpful to get a break and just let all that be my main focus. Because I think me, me and Holly, we all need breaks around here. That's all I gotta say. Let me see. And I'm gonna plan on reading all of this one day. Uh, because it's really good information. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna read this person. Who wrote this? Marshall Thomas, the New Phoenix Program. Let's read this and I'll be done. The Phoenix program assassinating suspected Viet Cong sympathizers in a systematic manner worked well, and his blueprint for current black operation, aka gang stalking, targeting thousands of loyal Americans using state-of-the-art microwave radio frequency radiation weapons. The motivation to suppress domestic dissidents and assassinate loyal American opposition stems from perception of dissident against the war as treason. This philosophy is stated very clearly in the Mind War paper written by Michael Aquino. The Department of Defense has a huge stake in futuristic technology that kills by ionizing and non-ionizing radiation, leaving little or no trace. The indiscriminate killing of the Phoenix program continues on American soil. The terms soft kill and slow kill, silent kill refer to the new way of killing the enemy in conflicts of short war and small wars of the future. The generation of military, Ted Shacker, Richard Helms, and all of them ability to cull the human herd with silent kill technology allows a few personalities to remake the entire society in their own image. Extremely low frequency technology slowly drives the target crazy with silent sound, similar to CIA MK Ultra psychiatrist Ewan Cameron's psychic driving technique, used to break down the target's personality. The news buzzwords at the Pentagon are synthetic telepathy and psychotronics. Another means of attack on targets is the Smirnov patent. This uses subliminal suggestion to manipulate human behavior. The patent was purchased by the remote viewing company PSI Tech Corporation. Officers involved in developing these lethal weapons also control Tech. Emotional manipulation is accomplished using Michael Persinger's work to remotely project emotional states that the brain and trains or locks onto and emulates. Like I was telling you, when they said, listen, project emotional states that the brain and trains are locked onto. So when they got me arguing, they keep playing, then I still falling for it. Every same time, every day, falling for that arguing thing. I done it yesterday, but I'm going to put into it today. And I keep saying that. It's easier said than done to break brain entrainment. Once they have that urge to argue, once I took the bait the first time and argued on X, and then went to that 2 hours arguing back and forth, trying to expose people and stuff, and getting into arguments. Well, they play that every day now at the same time, and it's usually right when me and Holly spend time together every day. And then I find out half the time I'm supposed to spend with Holly, I spend arguing, and it's hard to break the cycle. But once you see a pattern, you can break it. But it is very hard because that urge, I did it yesterday for the most part, but I cave in at the end, and that urge is hard to beat. So remember, controlled breathing breaks brain entrainment. Redirection of thoughts breaks brain entrainment. There's several ways to break it, and I've told it in several videos. Okay, one can broadcast fear, rage at an individual target to manipulate and control them. As these methods were not enough to torture and murder people, add this nightmare toolbox active gang stalking. CIA created cults and other cause oriented groups are used by actively harassing them in public and neutralization techniques described in counterintelligence operation manuals that are aimed at enemy agents. Remember, gang stalking is meant for you to destroy yourself. They will run the psyops, put you in fear, panic mode, fight or flight, and then out of all of them emotions and stuff you're experiencing, the decisions you make, you destroy yourself, and then they're gone. There's no evidence. In the race to develop a new weapon has always been necessary to test it on human beings. Perfecting the latest weapons designed to kill slowly and silently is perfecting the process of controlling the human mind are no different. Once the weaponry has been perfected on these few thousand people, the same techniques will be applied en masse to general population and then to humanity as a whole. And that was Marshall Thomas of the New Phoenix program. Now, anyway, I hope everybody has the best weekend as a target they can. But remember what I said at the beginning. It's important if you have TI friends to encourage them. Send them words of encouragement. Because other people can. So I may not be able to see a gift I have, but other people from the outside, being friends with me, may notice a gift, or notice some talent, or notice something good in me that so I'm advising all targets, if you have target individual friends, start speaking life into them. Speak positive affirmations. Hey, bro, look, you're good. You're a good prayer warrior, man. Thanks for what you're doing. You don't know what difference you're making in the spiritual realm. Uh, uh, you're really good at prayer, or just different stuff. Encouraging is important. Edification is what it's called, and edification is needed for all TIs. So, or hey, that was a good drawing. Just try to help people recognize their gifts because a lot of times we can't see things inside of us that we have because we're so traumatized and our self esteem and self worth has been so pushed down into us so negatively that we've given up and don't think we're good at anything. So it's important that we point out the good in each other and lift each other up. Anyway, God bless all target individuals. I hope you'll have the best weekend possible.